Saturday of Wrestlecade. It's always the biggest day of the weekend, and it was so fun. And this year, props to Wrestlecade. They had it set up so good this year. I believe there was 5 different vendor rooms, one for Ric Flair, one for Sting, and then the 3 separate ones. And it worked out so well. Instead of having everybody cramped into these 2 connected rooms, it was so much better separated. It's not as stressful. So I definitely like how they did it, and I hope they continue to do this within the next years. First, we're going to look at the pictures that I took with the wrestlers. First up is Josh TKO Turner, and my dad wanted to get him because he was a part of the Walking Dead TV show, and so he also threw in a picture. Here's our picture with the great Khali and Ranjit Singh, and they both also signed my encyclopedia, so I will show you that on the screen. Right here's where the great Khali signed. Right here's where Ranjit Singh signed. And then we took a picture with Alberto Del Rio, and I'd personally say he was probably the rudest guy I met today. I mean, he just really didn't seem like he cared. He was on his phone the whole time, so yeah, he wasn't the nicest guy. But honestly, I didn't expect him to be, just off of stories that I've heard. And then I wanted to get my Major Bendy signed by Joey Janela, and so he also threw in a picture. Joey Janela is always one of the nicest guys to meet. Love meeting Joey Janela. He's so cool. Here's the 2 Major Bendies that I got signed today. First one being Bad Boy Joey Janela. Very cool. This is also the Chase version. And then I got Butterbean right there. Very cool. And my goal was to actually buy a Bendy signed by Brian Myers, but he didn't even have any with him. So I did get one of my extra Bendy bubbles signed by him. And then I did the same thing with Joe Hendry because, of course, his isn't released yet. So this is very cool. And I also asked him to do the I Believe In inscription right there. And then I got for $10 the Taz loose figure right there. I've been needing this one, so glad to add that one to the collection. Here's where we took a picture with Mustafa Ali, and he was so nice. Right here is where Brooke signed the encyclopedia. Very cool. Right here is where Lita signed the encyclopedia. This was the biggest line that I stood in, but I definitely wanted to meet her. Right here is where X-Pac signed it in the green paint pen, so that looks very cool. Right here is where Shelton Benjamin signed, very cool. Right here is where Kevin Thorne signed, very cool. So yeah, those are the autographs that I got on Saturday. So now let's talk about the Super Show. It's always fun. There's always special guests, legends, and everything that show up. So yeah, it's always just a very fun time. So before the regular show starts, they have their AML showcase match. You had the Andersons and Abuse of Power, which they actually got the win on the match. And they were taking on the Dawson Brothers, Beer City Bruiser, and Billy Brash. So honestly, a lot of talent was in the ring at this time. But, I mean, it was nothing special. I'm going to give it a B-. And then they kick off the regular show with Elijah coming out. Very cool. He sits down. We know that he's going to say something, but right when he gets started, here comes Angelina Love and Psycho Boy Fodder. And from there, they really just started their match. Not really too much to say here, other than, of course, the crowd clearly hated Psycho Boy Fodder. He's a great heel, and so I give it a B-. They did good. Then it was time for the Doors, Ladders, and Tables match, and this was a very fun match, but let's get into who was in there first. First up, we got my guy, Joey Janela. We got Big Bojack. We got Zilla Fatu, and he had a great performance in this match. You got Colby Carino, Diego Hill, and he is insanely talented. And then to add some fun and comedy to the match, you got to have White Mike. But this was an amazing match. There was a lot of very fun, extreme spots. Everybody really got their shine in this match. So yeah, it was really fun. As expected, Zilla Fatu ended up getting the win, but honestly, he deserved it because of how good he looked in the match. And this is how Zilla looked at the end of the match with his one up in the air. And then the Good Hands come out. They're talking junk. John Skyler saying that he wanted to destroy Devon, but now he's got to settle for his sons. So then the tag team of TNT, of course, Devon's sons, come out, and they have their match. It was pretty decent. All 4 guys are very talented, but I'm just going to give it a B-. And then they announce a special guest announcer for the next match is going to be David Crockett. And then here comes AJ Francis. Everybody's booing him. And then here comes, everybody's a fan of him, George South. They have a fun match, very crowd engaged. And then at the end, Top Dollar wants to just keep beating him up. And so then what appears to be Joey Janela coming to save the day for George South. He scares off Top Dollar to the outside of the ring, but then Joey Janela turns on George South and attacks George South. So George South is, of course, outnumbered. So here comes one of the surprise appearances, Ricky Morton, to come help longtime friend George South. So that was a very fun surprise from somebody that everybody's always excited to see, Ricky Morton. And then here comes the crowd getting mad, Brad Attitude, and of course followed up by another amazing heel, Matt Cardona. And they would be taking on Ryan and Nick Nemeth. So of course the crowd's excited. Everybody likes Nick Nemeth. And everybody hates Matt Cardona, so the crowd was just really engaged in this one. So yeah, it created for a very fun match. I am going to give it a B. Then here comes the original bro, Matt Riddle, followed up by Mustafa Ali. Two great talents that have, of course, both been in WWE before. And so yeah, the crowd was into it. Of course, Matt Riddle hypes everybody up. So yeah, they worked very good together. I'm going to give it a B. And after the match, Matt Riddle kept it going and beat him up after the match as well. Then it was time for the Top Rope Belts Battle Royal, which consists of a few surprise special guests such as Heath Slater, ODB, James Ellsworth, Shane Taylor, very nice, very evil Danhausen. So then they start the match. Everything's going well, but probably about a minute in, here comes Hornswoggle. This was so fun, a great just surprise to surprise the crowd with. So then the match has now fully started with everybody in it. And honestly, the funnest part was just watching Hornswoggle take on huge guys like Shane Taylor and act like he's like a real threat to all these people. But it turned out I guess he was, because Hornswoggle won the entire Battle Royal. So that was just very fun. And then here came Lindsay Snow, and she was taking on Masha Slamovich, and they were going to be having their hardcore match. They start off by having this whole kendo stick battle, which looked like they were like sword fighting with the kendo sticks. But yeah, in parts of this match, they truly put their body on the line. They did some crazy stuff, but the match just personally wasn't for me. Was it bad? No, but would I go out of my way to go rewatch this match again? Certainly not. There's a certain type of hardcore wrestling that I can go with. I like it. But then there's this other part of hardcore wrestling that I really don't care for, such as kind of what they were doing. It's not like they were going through glass and all that. That's the kind of stuff I like. I'm a big ECW fan. That's probably like my favorite wrestling to go back and watch. But it just wasn't for me. Cheese graters and all that's cool, but I don't need the whole match surrounded around cheese graters. So it was okay, but they really did put their bodies on the line. I got to consider that. And it was a very long match. I thought it was a little too long. So for the work that they did put in, I'm going to give it a B. But based off my likings, I would probably say a B-. And then here came Shelton Benjamin, followed up by Speedball Mike Bailey. And this was my prediction for Match of the Night. And guess what? I was right. Are you surprised? No, you shouldn't be, because it's Speedball Mike Bailey. I'm sorry, anything that Speedball does is going to be Match of the Night usually. I'm a huge fan of Speedball. And then here came formerly known as Jinder Mahal, Rod Desi. And then he's followed up by everybody's favorite, Joe Hendry. Everybody's waving their hands, singing the entrance. It was very fun to see Joe Hendry. So they start their match, and I never expected this to be Match of the Night. I just really expected it to be what it's supposed to be, entertainment, and it served its purpose very well. But probably what everybody's going to want to hear is, so the referee gets knocked down. People were thinking maybe legend Mike Chioda will come out, maybe Earl Hebner will come out. But who would have thought for it to be the Great Khali? He comes out. I mean, he has history with Jinder Mahal. He's came to WWE events and helped him out. But no, he sides with Joe Hendry. The Great Khali believes in Joe Hendry. And he helps Joe Hendry to end up getting the win. And then at the end, Ranjit Singh came out to take a picture with Joe Hendry and Great Khali in the ring. So it was a good ending. I'm going to give that match a B+ when you add all that fun stuff for the end. While leaving the show, I got a picture with Diego Hill as I asked him to sign my just Wrestlecade poster that I was asking everybody to sign. He also said, hey man, you want to take a picture? So I'm like, yeah, of course. Alright, this is going to be hard to get to everybody, but I'm going to really try my best to get to every autograph that I got on the poster. As you see, it is now very full. Yesterday, I believe it had 4, and now just by tonight, look at it now. This is very cool. These are all just guys that were walking around. I'd ask them, hey, you mind signing my poster real quick? And most everybody was just really nice about it. Like, oh, yeah, of course, man. And so let's look at it right here. Some of these I already got yesterday, so I'm just going to skip over it, such as that. But we got Abaddon. We got Rosemary. Got Johnny Shore. We got Samantha Starr right there. We have right here Audrey Allen. I don't know if I already said Rosemary, but right here we have Matt Riddle. And it is safe to say that he was high. He wrote 420. He was talking goofy. He's like, wait, man, why did they put my face on here? Why didn't you get Dennis Rodman to sign it, man? He was just talking crazy stuff. But it was fun. And I actually got Joe Hendry to sign this, so that is very cool. Right here, I got Leva Bates to sign it right here. You got Zuka King. Got Jasmine Hoy right here. You got Sabu. Jinder Mahal. You got Masha Slamovich. We got Diego Hill right there. This right here is Emily J. We got Ricky Morton, referee Jared Fritz, and this is one half of TNT, one of Devon's sons, but I really can't tell the difference. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know which one that is, but still very cool to have. We have Joey Janela right here. Right here we got George South. Then we got AJ Francis right there. We got Rocky Kernoodle, independent wrestler Gustavo. We have Rebby Hardy right here. And just for fun, I did ask if she doesn't mind allowing the Gothic Baby to sign a signature for me. And so this is what the Gothic Baby came up with right there. So, I mean, I just thought it would be kind of neat to have on the poster. So this now looks very, very cool. I guess the highlights would probably be Matt Riddle, Joe Hendry, Sabu. There's a lot of cool ones on here now. So yeah, glad that the poster looks good. And yeah, so that was a fun Saturday of Wrestlecade. I'm ready for Sunday, but I definitely don't want to leave because it's been so fun. It always goes by fast. But yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Come out to Wrestlecade next year if you missed it this year.